What did you do?
You just have to trust me.
No, I never expected to be saying that Matt Damon is a redneck icon, but that's surprisingly not even the biggest talking point about this. Stillwater is a dramatic thriller, which sounds drearier than it ended up being, about a man who goes to France, initially just to visit his daughter who's been in prison for years. But when she finds out there might be a new lead in the case, proving her innocent at last, he stays and goes after it himself instead of getting anyone to help, which is not so smart. But he meets a single mother and daughter, gets to know them, you know, it's that kind of one. And then they end up being able to help him track down this new lead, which leads him to this really poor part of Marseille, and he goes there alone at night asking questions. So he gets the shit beaten out of him, but decides to stay for a while, despite all of these setbacks, to see if he can uncover more about the case, as well as get to know the single mother a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? So it is, as much as this, it's got an uneven tone, I feel, because dramatic thriller, you feel like, oh, okay, so it is going to be quite dreary, especially clocking in at 140 minutes, and it's going to be slow burn, investigative style. There isn't an it's not very investigative as a film. There's a lot of that in the first act. There is a really long, over an hour, second act where it doesn't feel like a thriller. It barely feels like a drama. It's very light-hearted. Matt Damon's just fitting in with his new family, finding what he lost because his wife committed suicide and he kind of never really took care of his daughter. And then it comes back to the kind of thrilling aspects near the end. It is unusual style, but I really enjoyed the whole thing. I think that cutting out the second act of this investigative thriller and doing something different, lighthearted, and enjoyable enough kind of kept this from being overly dreary and being really slow burn, which I'm not saying it makes it a genius film, but I really enjoyed the whole thing because of that and thought it worked quite well, and it has some very interesting points to make about changing your perspective of the world entirely. It is one of the, it's like going to Europe and, I went to Europe for a month and my life changed. It's that, but for a guy in like his 40s or 50s, which is weird. But anyway, I'm giving Marseille, because they spend 2 hours there and 10 minutes in Stillwater, 73 out of 100. It is strange. It's kind of genre blending, but not really, because it is still dramatic thriller, really. I still wouldn't really outright classify it as like a romance film or a family film or anything like that. It's just a different style that I really don't remember ever seeing before. But I'm always open to new styles and new things, reviewing lots of stuff, so go ahead and subscribe down below.